Don't place trades out of boredom. If you can't sit out of the market and there's no setups or there's something going on and you don't know exactly how to trade, just stay out. Some of the best things to do is, for example, tomorrow, every first Friday of the month, we have what's called non-farm payrolls and unemployment rates. These can move the markets in thousands. Now, you're probably wondering which currency pairs and what does it affect. It could affect indexes. It definitely affects currency pairs as well. So since this is a U.S. dollar currency pair, anything that correlates with the U.S. dollar, a U.S. currency pair, or the U.S. currency in general will definitely get affected by it. Now, personally for me, because this is so volatile, I don't want to get caught in anything. If you're in profit, take profit right now and trade after that. If you're not in profit, take a small loss right now. It's better to take a small loss than to sit through this, and next thing you know, you're 500 to 1,000 points out of profit, even more out of profit on a trade. You have to manage your risk, and you have to understand, what is good and what is not. If you're in a trade right now and it's in profit, close it. If you're not in profit, just suck it up, take it as a learning experience, and just close your trade. The first Friday of the month, some things that I'll do when I was trading Forex is I like to place my trades Monday or Tuesday, the first week of the month, because I know that if I'm in deep in profit, I can just move my stop loss to break even, or I can just go ahead and take profit there and then see what happens right after the trade. So that's coming up as well. Also, we have some big movements with Canadian pairs too, employments and unemployment rates. So US dollar CAD, anything that has to do with Canadian pairs and US pairs, you're definitely going to want to stay out of. We have some pretty big things. This shit is going to rock the market so heavy tomorrow. And the thing is, some of the trades that we were in, like Microsoft, we were up. I was up about like 25%. I don't know if you guys were in at the same time as me. I was up 25% on one of the options. I closed about 75% of that entire trade. Left 25% left. So one thing that I like to do whenever I'm trading, if we go ahead and actually clear this, one thing that I like to do whenever I'm trading, let me get off the annotation. Let me see. So one thing that I like to do if I'm trading is, let's go ahead and go to the daily. Let's go to the 4-hour chart. Where is this at? The 4-hour chart. Let's go ahead and say I buy right here. So I'm buying here on US 30 and price sitting up here. I will move my stop loss to break even, or I'll just go ahead and close about 75%, and I'll let the rest 25% of my position run, and I'll leave that at break even. So it's basically a free trade. So if we go ahead and work our way down through these with US 30, the Dow Jones pulled back pretty significantly today. It's crazy because one stock pulled back the entire market and like rattled everything. So these are things that is unexpected. No one's gonna sit here and tell you, hey, CPI is, Apple and China sales are low. No one's gonna sit here and tell you these things. Some of the most of the time when we have big news events like that and unexpected things. Remember when Elon Musk was smoking weed and then it dropped Tesla stock by like 20% or some crazy shit like that? There's no saying what could happen. But you have to understand, whenever big tech giants or these big blue chip companies, whenever something happens like that, it's going to rock the markets as well as Delta. So Delta Airlines. I'm not really, oh, that's the wrong one. Delta. Let's go ahead and find this. Delta Airlines Inc. falling off. If you were to sell Delta, you'd want to take it at least down to here. The trend is still bullish. You could either take a small sell here, take Delta down to 41, and then look for buys on Delta right here. I mean, the price of the stock is really cheap, actually. I really like these levels to go ahead and buy. But personally, I don't feel comfortable buying until price gets to the cloud, because if you guys understand Ichimoku, and if you guys have went through my Ichimoku mastery course, you know exactly what this is. You know exactly what that means. And I'm not going to go ahead and say it because I want you guys to go back and watch the entire Ichimoku mastery course so that way you guys understand exactly what this component and what I'm talking about with the cloud here, because then you will understand exactly my logic behind when it bounces off. So Delta, if you look at American Airlines, where is it at? American Airlines Group, AAL, everything's pulling back with it. Now, American Airlines is pretty fucking ugly. This is a pretty ugly stock. But if you were to take a small sell, it would only be until 27. Then from there, you're not going to really be able to do much. The stock came out in 2014. The highest ever reached was about $56 to $50 per share. We're back down to $30 per share. So if we took from the high all the way up here, stock is currently down about 3,000 points, about 51% so far. I would not be looking for buys right here, but you guys can definitely be looking for some short-term sells on airline stocks. So back to Dow Jones. If we look at the Dow Jones, price is still sitting on the 26-day. We may go a lot lower on the Dow Jones. I don't think the Dow Jones is going to pull back to the cloud. That's just pretty far. I wouldn't know right now. I'd have to see until the end of the month. If we keep on selling off and the market tumbles tomorrow, and we're going to continue to sell DIA, we're going to get puts that expire this Friday. We're going to get out of those. We're going to sell US 30 as well, and we are going to be selling blue chip stock short term. Now this isn't my long term sentiment. If the market's going to go down short term, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take advantage of it until it gives me setups on Facebook, like right here. There's nowhere else Facebook is going but here. I would be selling the shit out of Facebook right now. With this bearish hammer going on, it was like a bull trap. I was on a webinar with one of my students yesterday, and I said, you know what? This could just be a bull trap, and look at what's happening. That's exactly what we're looking at. I mean, the trend is really nice, but unfortunately with Facebook, there's no other level of support until we get to here. And once we get to here, we can go ahead and make projections. I'm not going to go ahead and I'm not going to make structural projections on Facebook. No way. One thing is, when you guys are using Ichimoku, don't throw MACD on here. Don't throw RSI on here. Be confident with Ichimoku. If you throw RSI and MACD, it's because you're not confident with exactly every single indicator that's on Ichimoku. Ichimoku is an all-in-one indicator. Build confidence from it. Watch the Ichimoku Mastery course that's in the course over and over and over again. If you want to ask some of my more advanced traders, my traders have been trading with me for like a year to a couple years. Ask them, hey, how did you learn it? Well, number one, they would tell you they went through the course multiple times. They would tell you that they're on all of my webinars. They're the ones who ask questions during the webinars. They're not the ones who are sitting back and afraid to talk. Just so you guys know, if you guys send a message to me, it's private. No one else can see your webinar, so no one else is going to call you out if it's a stupid question, but there are no stupid questions here. So, NAS 100. It's beautiful right here. Pulled right back down to the 26-day. I'm not going to be concerned until NASDAQ pulls past beneath this previous month low. If it breaks there, then I'm going to go ahead and look here. But what does let me know that it's going to keep on, that the sideways is definitely projected is because the cloud is sideways as well. But the 26-day is finally having some momentum. So if we do bounce here, you're going to want to look for buys at that level. So if we go ahead and look at the daily, look at this. If we can see it push above here or up here, we are definitely going to go ahead and look for buys and look to catch this reversal on the daily time frame. Microsoft. So one thing about Microsoft, what we are going to do now is wait for Microsoft to pull back here, or until that moving average catches up with price somewhere up there. Visa. How do I erase these without erasing the whole thing? So with Visa, let's go ahead and change up the entire sentiment. We are still sitting right here. If it breaks lower than that, then we are going to take Visa down to the 26-day at 112. That's if we have strong selling pressure on the market. Ferrari. So since we have no cloud, there's really no say on how low it can go. So we just have to keep an eye on this and watch it from a smaller time frame and see if we have any reversals coming up here. If it can break above this moving average right here, then we can definitely go ahead and take it higher on the daily chart. Square. On the monthly chart, it's pretty much the same thing. We do not have much data here, so we have to go ahead and wait on the daily chart until price breaks above here before we go ahead and look at any longs. UPS. UPS sitting right here on the 9-day moving average. If it can go ahead and bounce here, then we can definitely move a lot higher. It's a matter of watching it tomorrow. Domino's Pizza. Domino's Pizza is definitely going to come back and retest this level now. Last month, we had some pretty strong bullish volume right here, but come this month, we have a whole new monthly candle. There's no other way that we're going to go until we get back down to this level. So expect that to come here. Then we can go ahead and watch for price to take that level. FedEx. FedEx sitting on the 9-day as well. FedEx also sitting on the cloud. If FedEx breaks beneath this low, we are definitely going to take FedEx down here, and then we can look for buys at that level. Euro US dollar. I am still a bear on Euro US dollar. The trend is still bearish here. British pound dollar. I'm still bearish on GBP USD. We still have to make it down here to this level. We are still sitting in profit here. So you can close about 50 to 75% before taking it back up. More 10 o'clock webinars. Okay. So that's pretty much the whole sentiment. Don't go ahead and close out all your positions. Don't even gamble with your money. I mean, you wouldn't even go to a casino and play poker without knowing how to play. If you went in there blind and not knowing how to play poker, you definitely get your account destroyed. So close out all your positions. It's just best to do that, especially if you're a beginner, you don't know what you're doing. Gather more experience. The last thing you want to do is blow your entire account because you don't know what you're doing. Take my advice, close everything out, learn from experience, sit back and watch from the sidelines, so then that way come next month you know exactly what to do. All right, guys, take care.